Hi, everyone. We are so excited to welcome you here today. My name is Kristen Carley, and with me,
Hi, everyone. I'm Jillian Barkium. So glad to be here.
we are the founders of Expert with Influence, a company devoted to training media dietitians and offering a bunch of different types of mentorship. We're so excited to share a little snippet of some of that with you today. So we'll introduce ourselves. Like I said, I'm Kristen. We like to go through a bunch of different things here in the beginning. One notable thing about me is that I've been working as a media dietitian for the last 4 years. And in 1 year, I made over $200,000 from just one client, which was really, really cool. Shows you the potential of the amount of income that you can make with this type of work. Outside of this, outside of my media dietitian work, I own a private practice where I have a team of dietitians seeing patients and have my hands in a bunch of other different things. So this is just one revenue stream for me. But in my media work, I've worked with over 80 brands. I've published over 280 articles, been featured in over 50 TV segments, and developed hundreds and hundreds of recipes. And like I said, I own a private practice. I am the founder of Camelback Nutrition and Wellness. And I also have a cute little baby boy at home. So, busy. I always say, Jillian always says this, that our lives are very full as a busy working mom, but we love it. And I'm going to turn it over to Jillian.
Yes, it is so busy. Our little boy is actually our little buddies. So I have three kiddos, and my youngest Cooper and little Luca are just little friends. So we love that. So glad to be here, guys. So a couple accolades from my side. This was actually when I was looking at my taxes last year and doing all of my bookwork. I realized just in 1 month, I had $45,000 from brand partnerships. And it really just hit me because I remember after graduating, getting my master's degree, and I got my first job, and they called me and told me the salary was $52,000. I thought it was just the most money in the entire world. And then, looking back now, it was a really exciting first step for me, but it's cool to see that in this media work, you can actually have a super lucrative career. And what I love about it, because you can not spend all of your time working. So you use your expertise to have that income and your credibility, and it's not all about your time, which for us, as we know, as we mentioned, being moms is really important to us. I've worked with 50 plus brands, quoted in 50 plus articles, and actually recently Chris and I both are writing for publications as well. So that's cool to have these byline opportunities where you're actually authors for publications like Eating Well and Eat This Not That. Featured in 200 plus TV segments. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. There's just hundreds. I just love TV. It's my favorite. So lots of TV segments. And I am also the founder of the What's for Dinner Club, which is a blog where I share free weekly recipes and dinner ideas to really make it easy, because as moms, it's so much. So I just want to make it simple. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yay. So, what is an expert with influence? Like we said, our business name is Expert with Influence. And I think, there's a lot of talk right now about influencers, particularly on social media. And there's a real opportunity for us as credentialed health experts to not only be an influencer and have this level of influence, whether it's on social media or not, but also be somebody that they can trust, right? Have a credential behind our name and have an expert in this area of nutrition. So, experts with influence share their expertise in a variety of settings. So, most of you are probably familiar with social media, but there are a lot of different ways to kind of share your influence, including writing. Like Jillian said, we both write for a few outlets. We both do a lot of TV or video content, content creation for other brands. So, photos and recipes. There's this new world of UGC, which stands for user generated content, where brands are having you create content to share on their pages. So your follower count on social media doesn't really matter because it's going to be shared on their pages. And then being quoted as an expert, whether that's online or in print publications.
Yeah, what's cool about it is there's really no end to this. There's so many ways that you can dream up fun partnerships, collaborations, consulting, video work, creating professional toolkits. Like there's just so many ways to work with the media. And it just offers you an opportunity to reach more people and change more lives. So we know there is so much value in meeting one-on-one and doing a lot of that work with people. That's for sure an important part of our role in this space as dietitians. But there's also a huge impact you can make. Just think about, you see thousands of people on TV in one segment. You get to reach them and give them a tidbit, a tip, a recipe, or something that's going to help them, right? So it's an opportunity to really help more people by working with the media. You're also able to increase your rates. So we know people, we are all trying to budget and cut back. And there's so many people that are like, I'm looking through all my subscriptions, like how many TV subscriptions do I have? So we're always trying to be really conscious of that. And the thing is that you can actually increase your rate when you are working with brands at that point. They have bigger budgets than maybe those one-on-one appointments where you feel like you're really pulling to get them to pay for certain things. And don't even get me started on insurance for dietitians. I honestly I've never even been in that world. I don't do one-on-ones, but just hearing about it sounds like a nightmare. So not to say that you can't do that, but this is a great opportunity to maybe supplement some of your income through media work. And that way, when you do those one-on-ones, you can really enjoy it. And it's not this pressure and stress of having to get so many appointments so that you can reach a certain threshold for your income. So brands have the budgets to pay the big bucks, unlike those individual clients. And again, just one of those revenue streams. It can be, we love to have our hands in a lot of different things. It's fun, it's creative, and it just lets you really go with the flow when things come and go so that you can have this consistent income every month.
So guys, are you ready to ditch the imposter syndrome and make some serious money as an expert with influence? Come join us.
I can see everyone, right? I bet everyone just watching is just like, you're like, okay, yeah, but not me. We're moving on, guys. We're just gonna put that aside and let's just pretend like we're all into it and we're gonna go for it. Because now we're gonna get into some amazing tips to help you get started. Because I think that's one of the best things too, is we want to get practical. Like let's get down into it and some nitty-gritty ways to get started in media work.
So this is something you guys can do today. Like this is what I love about this opportunity. So how to get quoted as an expert. This is one of the things that I first started doing when I just became a dietitian and I was opening my private practice. It's a very quick way to get your name out there. So free press for you, and it also really boosts your credibility. So here's what you can do. You can literally do this right now. So create an account on Connectively. This is a site that used to be called Harrow. What you're going to want to do is check the daily posts. And really what this will be is a bunch of journalists looking for sources to feature in their stories. So if you think about it, journalists have to write an article on any topic, and they need to feature an expert source. They're usually on a pretty tight deadline, but you as a dietitian can be this nutrition expert source for them, and you really help them out. So Connectively connects those two people together. So these daily posts will be from journalists talking about different topics, sharing the outlets that they're writing for. And if you are interested in being a featured expert, respond to some of those inquiries. A big thing here is to be really timely, because the sooner you get to the journalists, the better. They're on a deadline. They're probably going to go with the first couple responses that they received, so that they can write their story and be done. So timely is really important, but also providing quality responses and including what we call sound bites. As dietitians, we're trained to write like a 15-page paper on, describing the scientific studies behind everything. And I think that definitely serves a role, but for the purposes of this, we want to be as succinct as possible. Really boil down your main bullet points into 2 to 3 sentences that are easy for that journalist to just copy and paste into the article. And are really speaking to the general public, right? Like if you didn't have any nutrition knowledge at all, you don't have any science background, will I still be able to understand what you've written? That's what you want to think about when you're coming up with these sound bites. So let's say you've looked on Connectively, you've submitted a few sound bites to an journalist, then you just wait. Journalists sometimes don't let you know that they've used your quote. I remember when I first got started, I was submitting to these left and right, and I was like, gosh, I haven't even gotten one. This is so surprising. And meanwhile, I did a Google search for my name and I found a bunch of different articles that have been out there published over the last 6 months. So we recommend setting up Google alerts for your name or your business name. And, if you don't want to do Google, another brand is Talkwalker. Just set up a Google alert for your first and last name together. And what that does is every morning you'll get an email with like every single article or piece of anything that has your name in it. So every morning I get a Google alert at 7 a.m. and it scrapes the internet for any instance of my name, and then I never miss anything. Um, However, if you do get a response back from that journalist saying like, "Hey, loved this, I'm going to use it," or "Here's the final piece, you were published," awesome. You now have their email address. Be their best friend. Build a relationship with that writer because they will have more opportunities. Let them know that you are always down to be a source for them. And if you provide those sound bites in a quick, timely manner, you're going to be their favorite source to use. So you guys can do this today. I want you guys to get started doing this today because as an expert, as dietitians, you guys can do this. This is the best way to get your name out there.
Yeah, I love the credibility that you get just from writing for these publications, and they're big name publications too. Then you can start to gather those different logos for your media kit, or say that you were quoted in Self or Women's Health or things like that. You're going to see those big name publications in those spaces, so it really helps get your credibility rolling. Okay, so let's talk about how to get on TV, and this is one of my favorite topics. I think everyone is just like, how do you even do that? I remember thinking when my first TV segment, I was going to go in, there were going to be like hundreds of people running around and like makeup artists doing everyone's makeup and like all this stuff. And it's really very simple. I mean, maybe at the Today Show, it's like that, but for local TV stations, it's super simple. They're usually doing their own hair and makeup, and there's maybe a cameraman and then the hosts on set and the producers back, doing their own thing. So it's really interesting how it's actually a very simple thing. And also you have to note that they are trying to fill up a lot of time every single day. So they need you. They need stories. They're looking for content. They're constantly trying to up their ratings, engage with their audience and their viewers, right? So they really need you for this stuff. They're looking for you. Okay, so let's talk about how you actually do this. You want to first locate the producer's contact information. And again, super simple. We think it's under some like hidden unlocked place online where you can like find producers contact, but a lot of times it's right on the website for the TV station. So even just searching for your local NBC, ABC and Fox stations and seeing what those local places are and the producers there, you're usually wanting to look for the daytime shows. So midday, daily life, lifestyle type things those are the places where they'll do these types of segments. Then you want to send, once you get that email, you want to send pitch ideas via email. A couple things to consider. Is it a timely topic? So thinking of things that are going on in the world, is there a holiday? Is it summer, seasonal, national food holidays, things like that? Because if you do something so general, like you should eat more fiber just because, there's really no reason that they want to get you on that week, right? So make it so specific to a day or a date or a season that they have to get you in right away. Otherwise, they're going to miss out on the opportunity to share your story. You want to have 2 to 3 main messages that you want to convey. So keep it succinct and focused to really be on point for what you want to share with the audience. And then you want to have a call to action for the audience, whether it's going to make a recipe, to go to a certain store that you love to get these products, things like that. So you really want to have a call to action to get the viewer something to do after you share the content with them. Now, if you're working with a brand, which is a whole other thing, we could do hours and hours of training on working with brands for TV. But just note that if you do work with a brand to sponsor TV, you have to get that content approved by your contact at the brand, as well as have it in your script, right? So including that disclaimer that you are working with them and making sure the brand signed off that, yep, this is the messaging that we want. Then you can go ahead and go on TV and share that messaging, and they will be happy with it and pay you for your time to do that too. So that's one thing to just kind of pay attention to, is brand work is a whole nother thing when you are working to get paid for TV. Lastly, we'll just say, as you're sending these pitches, if you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to find these producers, I'm going to send pitch ideas, you have got to follow up. They just as like much as they need your content, they are getting a lot of content of ideas and pitches, right? So you have to follow up again, get really creative with your pitches again, just and giving new ideas too, right? So say it's been 3 weeks since you sent that last pitch. Maybe that pitch isn't really timely anymore. It doesn't make sense. Send a new idea, right? Just keep going to sending new ideas, and they will have your name in your inbox and they will eventually follow up with you. So the real magic is in the follow up. And we always share that you definitely get a lot more ghosting and no's than yeses. But when the yeses happen, it starts to snowball and you get more opportunities too.
100%. We always say cast a really wide net. If you reach out to 5 people and you expect 5 responses, you're probably going in with the wrong mindset. Okay, so we talked about a few different things today, but most importantly, how are you going to get paid, right? We said this was a lucrative opportunity. How are we going to do this? So I think this is an interesting distinction. If you've never worked with media before, you may not know this. And I knew I was very surprised to learn this. So the brands pay to be featured in the media outlet. So whether that's print, online, or TV, right? They want to be seen by all those people who are viewing that TV segment, but they also want to be paid. They will also pay to be endorsed by you, right? You as a credentialed expert. I am a nutrition expert and I love this product. That has a lot of weight behind it. So they're willing to put a lot of dollars behind that as well. And so those media outlets and the TV stations, they don't pay you to be there, but they need the content. So they'll gladly have you on to share your expertise. And it's a really good idea to build a relationship once you're on a station, build a relationship with the cast and crew, and you can be their go-to person whenever they have a nutrition story. So in short, the brands pay, the media outlets do not.
And also too, just to note, like getting paid obviously is great, but it's great to get the experience too. So doing some for free and just being their go-to person, even now, like where if someone reaches out to me, we have something, a story tomorrow, we need someone on, but you want to keep that relationship and be helpful to them. It's okay to do that stuff for free. I did it for free for way too long because I didn't know how any of this worked. But getting the experience, we always say do some segments where you're not sponsoring a brand just to get in there and get familiar with how it all works. Okay, so let's talk about how to get paid with a brand partnership. Okay, so we talked about TV and writing in those publications, but there's so many ways that you can work with brands to get their messaging out. So one of the ways, a couple of things that we want to recommend is number one is to build an engaging social media following and be consistent with on-brand messaging. Now, this always gets people, I know social media is such a love-hate thing. Kristen and I still have conversations about it every day, about how we're going to be managing, and it can really be a time suck. But I think it is still important to have some sort of presence, and you can put the boundaries around it however you want, even if that means you only go on social media 2 days a week or whatever. Just something where when people go to look you up, which is one of the first things you do when you meet someone or you want to go check out a new restaurant, you go look them up on social media, right? So you want to have some sort of presence there so that when brands are looking you up, when they say, oh, she pitched to do some sort of partnership, to do TV, to do writing, I'm going to look her up on social, and they can see that you're there, you're present, and your messaging is really concise and on point. So that's an important thing. Just think of it as almost like this living resume for yourself that people are going to be constantly looking at. We also like to recommend to write out a list of brands that you want to work with and add it to an Excel sheet to manage those contacts. So we love to dream up, all the different brands. There's so many out there, and it's so funny how a lot of us get sucked into those big name brands, but there's so many. So as you start making that list, it'll grow and grow and grow with you. And then it's about putting your little investigator cap on. It's about going on LinkedIn. It's finding the right people. It's talking to people in your network, of finding the right contacts. Going to events is also really important too. Even this virtual event here too, connecting with people and sharing your desires and dreams and goals of what you want to do and seeing who might have an introduction for you. That is really the key to making these contacts with brands. It's just through your network. So once you had that list, getting some contacts, reaching out, we're doing those pitches again, we're following up, and we're okay with the no's and the ghosting. We just keep going. We also recommend creating your list of 20, which is one of our favorite things to do. In fact, in our mentorship, we've had just recently a couple of calls with them and seeing how people are just getting these opportunities by reaching out to these people on their list of 20. So list of 20, what it is, it's basically you sitting down and just writing down a list of 20 people that are influential in your life. It doesn't have to be necessarily someone that you think will have a great brand partnership for you right away or that works at a TV station, but it's just someone that seems to have a lot of connections. They're a great networker. For example, one of the people on my list when I first did it was my Toastmasters president. Toastmasters is like a public speaking club. I mean, he didn't do TV, he didn't have brand partnerships, but I knew if I said, hey, can we go to coffee? I want to just tell you what I'm wanting to do. And can you make are there anyone that you think I should talk to? Any recommendations? Things like that. So think of your list of 20. We also think it's important to start local and become known as an expert in your community. So, doing those local TV segments, writing for a local publication, going to local events, and being known as the media dietitian, the pediatric dietitian, the weight loss dietitian in your little community is so important. And then it starts to grow from there. And then, like I mentioned, attending events and networking, share what you want to do with others because people actually love helping. The people like think about you love to help someone. When you like help someone do something, you feel really good too. So share what you want to do because they want to help you get to your goals as well.
Yay. Okay. I know this was super quick. We could only had a short amount of time with you guys. We wanted to jam pack it with a bunch of information so you could take some of this and hit the ground running today. But don't feel shy. Reach out to us. Join our email list. We actually have a great setting your rates freebie on our website, expertwithinfluence.com. One of the questions we get all the time is, how do I know what to charge for a social media post? What do I charge for this branded segment? You know, all of that information. It's really challenging. You kind of feel like you're throwing numbers out there wild. So this guide is amazing because we walk through a bunch of different things that we consider, like exclusivity and usage rights. So you get this for free by signing up for our emails on our website. Just go to expertwithinfluence.com and enter in your email on the pop-up. And be sure to follow us on social.
Yeah, follow all those different little handles there. And also we actually are starting, we have our next round of our mentorship too. So if you're looking for a little more hand holding, just know that we do that too. We do a 12-week program where we help you get started with media work and build your 5K plan to get your first $5,000 in media work. So it's one of our favorite things to do. It actually starts August 6th. So it's coming up so soon, but just make sure you go to, if you sign up for our email list to get that freebie, you'll also get all the information that we're going to be sending out for the mentorship. And any other programs that we do too. So we are so excited to welcome you guys into our business bestie community. Please, please, please message us on Instagram. We want to hear from you. We want to connect with you and we want to share with you too. So we can't wait to meet you guys and see you there. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, see ya.